Yo, what's going on guys, Camille here. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to build Heizou as a sub DPS slash support. Sorry if my voice is a little off today because I'm sick, but yeah, anyways, without further ado, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's begin. Alright, so first of all, we're going to talk about his roles and how you might build him. About his roles, as I said before, he's going to be a support slash sub DPS. He's going to be doing damage of his own, and he's going to be supporting your teammates by a little bit of elemental mastery and with the Verdescent set. About how to build him, there's generally two ways you can build him. Either just a normal like attack and Nemo crit, that's usually the best build for him. Or you might build him with elemental mastery. Why I don't recommend building him with elemental mastery is that he doesn't really scale with elemental mastery at all. Unlike Sucrose or Kazuha or whatever, he's not going to be scaling with elemental mastery in any way. So you're just going to have less damage with Heizou himself, and you're not really going to be benefiting from anything like outside stronger swirls. And also it's a little harder to build him with elemental mastery because the drop rates are like lower with elemental mastery. So yeah, definitely recommend just building him as a normal sub DPS. Some people might ask if they can build him as a main DPS. Honestly, I don't really think so. His auto attack scaling is not really that good, but I guess it's still viable if you really want to. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it, but it's kind of viable. Alright, so now moving on to his talents priorities. So it's going to be pretty simple, just right off the bat. You'd want to upgrade your elemental skill first, your elemental burst, and then your auto attacks. It doesn't matter what build, the elemental mastery or the normal build, just upgrade your skill, burst, and autos. Your elemental skill is going to be the main source of damage. It has the highest scalings and stuff like that. Your elemental burst is going to do decent amounts of damage too, and you're going to be able to spam it because it doesn't really cost a lot of energy. And for your auto attacks, you can like completely neglect them, but it's kind of recommended to upgrade them because you might use them sometimes. Because sometimes you might hit enemies with auto attacks to get like the stacks for your elemental skill. If you're really interested to know about his talents and details, I did a video before explaining his talents. So generally his talents are just going to be doing damage, that's it. But if you want to see on details and you want to understand it pretty good, you might check out my video. Alright, so now moving on to his constellations. So C1 is going to increase your auto attack speed, and it's also going to give you one free declension stack. So in general, what this constellation is going to be doing is that it's going to be giving you faster declension stacks. I mean, for C1, I'd say it might be worth it. It's not really necessary at all, but it's cool. C2 is longer duration to his pull effect. You know, the thing that like pulls enemies to it. It's also good, nothing really necessary, but it's still like cool. C3 is going to increase the level of your elemental skill. As I said, it's your main source of damage, so 3 levels, that's gonna be pretty huge. So yeah, I'd say C3 is good too. C4 is basically just gonna be giving you more energy. To be honest, I don't think Heizou really needs energy, so he's already good. So yeah, I'd say C4, and it's also kinda expensive, it's not really worth it. C5 gonna increase the level of your elemental burst, not really worth it too. And finally, C6 is gonna increase the crit rate of your elemental skill. It's pretty good. As I said, your elemental skill is your main source of damage, so the damage is obviously going to be increased, but I wouldn't really say it's necessary. So for a C6, I'd say not really worth it. So yeah, for his constellations, you might go C1, C2, or C3. They're pretty good. Each one of them is going to provide you with something. Other than that, it starts to get kind of expensive and it's not really worth it. And even at C0 is definitely fine. Alright, so now moving on to his weapons. So his best in slot is definitely going to be the Kagura's Verity. It's going to give you crit damage, a high base attack, and it's going to increase the damage of your elemental skill. The next tier weapons are going to be the rest of the 5 stars except for the Everlasting Moonglow. So you're going to have the Memory of Dust, you're going to have the Lost Prayer, and the Skyward Atlas. The next best weapon, and in my opinion the best 4-star, is definitely going to be the Solar Pearl. Especially if you have refinements on him, it's going to be very, very good. It's probably going to be on par with like 5-star weapons. You can also use something like the Witset, for example, or the the Wine and Song, or maybe the Frostbearer. It's going to be usable too. They're not really very good weapons, but they're going to work on him. If you don't have any of those, you can use the 3-star Twin Nephrite. It's definitely going to be the best 3-star weapon on him. If you're building him with Elemental Mastery, then obviously you only want Elemental Mastery weapons. So you know, you've got the Mappa Mare, for example, or the Witset, or whatever. Maybe the Emerald Orb, that's going to be a viable option. option too. But yeah, that's it for his weapons. It's pretty simple. For a normal build, you just want like the usual DPS weapons. And for a elemental mastery build, obviously you'd want weapons that's gonna give you elemental mastery. If you want to see it on details too, I did a video before about his weapons. I went through every single weapon and like seen if it works on Heizou like specifically. I went in details there, so if you want to see it, I did a tier list back then. You can check it out. You don't really need to because I just said everything you need to know right here, but if you still want to, then go ahead. Alright, so now moving on to his artifact sets. Obviously, the best set for any Anemo support is going to be the 4-piece Viridescent. It's not going to be giving you the most damage, but the swirl thing, and you're going to be helping your teammates a lot. So yeah, you definitely want to use the 4-piece Viridescent. Or you can use something like a 2-piece Viridescent and then 2-piece attack, like the Gladiators, Echoes, or whatever. That's going to give you more green damage, but it's definitely going to be way less support, so I wouldn't really recommend you to use them. So yeah, that's it really for his artifact sets. In my opinion, these are the only viable sets. Definitely wouldn't recommend anything else. You might use things like a 2-piece Wanderers, for example, or whatever for elemental mastery, or instructor, or you know, things like that. But these are very specific builds. I wouldn't really recommend building him like that. You just want to keep him pretty flexible, so a 4-piece Viridescent is going to be pretty good. Alright, so now moving on to his artifact stats. For the main stats, it's going to be pretty simple. As I said before, you can go attack, Anemo, or crit, and this is the best build in my opinion. And for a elemental mastery build, you just want to go elemental mastery on everything. So yeah, that's it. I would definitely recommend the attack, Anemo, crit build. For the final stats you'd want to have on your Heizou, energy recharge, you'd want to sit around 120 to 130, maybe 140, but he doesn't really need much energy recharge. His burst only costs 40 energy, so it's not really that big of a deal. For the substats, you'd want to go crit, attack, and elemental mastery and energy recharge. Obviously, if you're not building him with crit, you'd only want elemental mastery and energy recharge. If you're building him with crit, you'd want the usual 50-70% crit damage and 100 to 140% crit rate, or actually the opposite, 50-70% crit rate and 100 to 140% crit damage. For elemental mastery, you'd want to have as much as possible on him, and that's for both builds. The difference is only for a elemental mastery build, you'd want to go on elemental mastery on your main stats, but for a crit build, you'd want to have as much elemental mastery as you can from your substats. So yeah, there's no specific number really, but you'd want to have as much as possible. Alright, so now moving on to his team comps. So for his team comps, guys, there's nothing really special. Just like any Anemo support, he's going to be usable on a lot of teams. So basically, any team that needs an Anemo, he's going to be viable in. So obviously, for example, the national team, you can have Xiangling, Xingqiu, Heizou, and then let's say Bennett. You know, he's going to be an Anemo support, giving some elemental mastery and doing swirls and helping with the Viridescent, stuff like that. Or an electro charged team, for example, you can go like Child, Beidou, Fischl, and Heizou. Again, it's just going to be the Anemo support, giving some damage, but generally on these teams, other options might be better than him. Say for example, on the National or the Electro Charge team, Sucrose or Kazuha are definitely going to be way better than him, because they're going to be able to boost some elemental mastery of the rest of the team way more than Heizou, and that's probably going to result in way more damage. So the teams where Heizou is more like viable in, or he's going to be usable on these two, but where he's more viable is going to be teams that don't really need much elemental mastery, but they need an Anemo. So for example, he might be a battery for like Zhao. Zhao teams doesn't really need much elemental mastery, but they're going to need an Anemo support. So you can have say like Zhao, Heizou, then Zhongli, and Bennett. On that team, he's definitely going to be way better than like Sucrose or Kazuha. The reason for that is that he's simply going to be doing more Anemo damage than them. He's not going to need any swirls or anything like that, so elemental mastery is not going to be like a problem, and he's going to be doing more damage with his own scalings. So yeah, this is his preferred type of teams, but generally you can use him at any teams who needs an Anemo. So yeah, that was the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Again, I'm a little bit sick, so forgive my voice if it's annoying. But yeah, without further ado, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and see y'all in the next video. Peace.